Here's a product design technique I've used to create a surface that rolls away in both directions. Now I'll start with a metric part file, come up to my rectangle by center, lock to my XZ plane, then 200, tab 80. And I'm going to come up here and turn this rectangle to construction. Go to the line command from the bottom corner to the top corner. Turn off my lock, come over to my reference planes, create a new reference plane, back 200. Come back to my line command, lock to that new reference plane, look at this from my sketch view, and draw a line from this top corner to the bottom corner. So all I'm doing is creating this X shape. Now if I zoom in here though, and spin this around, you'll see these lines are at different depths. Now I'll come over to the 3D sketching command, and you've got to make sure the lock is off. Come to the line command, 3D line, and I'll come over here to the top of this line, to the bottom of this line. Make sure it connects. And I'll come down to the bottom of this line, to the top of this line. And again, if you look at this from the top, what do I see? It's just a square. If I look at it from the front, I see a rectangle. If I look at it from the side, I'll see this X shape again. So now what I'd like to do is come over to the surfacing commands and go to bounded surface. I'm just going to select these 4 lines. Create that surface, green check mark. And you can see I've created this surface that rolls in both directions. Now let's take a look at where I've used this surface for a product design. Come over here to the circle command. I'm just going to lock to the XY plane. I'll look at this from the top view. I'm just going to wake up these lines to find the center. And I'll place a circle in here at 150. I'll come over to the extrude button and extrude this down, say 30. Now I'll come over to the surfacing commands and replace face. I'll identify the top face, plane of face I just created, green check mark, and replace it with my new surface. I'll come up to the round command and add a round, say 5 millimeters along the top new face. I'm going to come and push this up because this is the top of the container. I'll push that up about 12. Now I'll come up to the thin wall button and I'll thin wall that out at 3. Let's turn off my sketches, my 3D sketches. And you can see this is a very interesting shape, how this surface rolls both ways. It's a very nice shape. Now let's go ahead and save this as Xcross. Now the next thing I'd like to do is add a lip. So this can connect to the bottom. So I go to the lip command, identify this inside curve, green check mark. Sometimes this can be hard to see, but I'm going to zoom in here, this little triangle, and place that lip right there at 1.5 and 1.5. Just improve the sharpness, finer display. Let's change the color of that lip so I can see it better. Just that feature there. For the rest of the part, I'll change it to cyan. And so there's my lid to the top of this container. Now let's save again, and we'll go and create the base. Come to the application button, new, assembly of active model. Create this new assembly, and I'll save this as Xcross. Now I'd like to come up and create in place the base. I'll just type this in as base of container. And before I go over to the base of container, I'm just going to move this up a little way. Now I'll identify the base of container, edit, and now I'm coming up to the borrow command, project to sketch, and I'm going to lock to the XY plane. I'd like to borrow this outside circle. Now I'll come back to the extrude command, grab that line. Now you can see where I wanted to move this up. I'll push this down 60. So there's the base. Come over to thin wall, not thin wall, the top at 3. Come back to the lip command, identify this top inside edge. Now the lip on this first part drops down, so I need this to drop down also. So I'll green check mark to accept, and again width 1.5, height 1.5. There's my little square there. I'm just going to drop that down to create room for the top.